Hey, it's me, MLB, Kimetsu No Yaiba. Yes, Demon Slayer. This has been a very long time coming. I wanted to jump into the fandom in March this year, but kept getting held up with other stories. But never mind. Here we go. This is your weekly one-shot with Rengoku in the spotlight. He is with a female listener in this one-shot, and she is about to blow his mind. Rengoku, as noted in the Wiki Fandoms page, is 20 years old. I'm not about to drop spoilers if no one's seen Mugen Train. So I'm pitching Yin as around the same age, just for clarification's sake. So without further ado, here is Mystery Dancer, Rengoku X female listener. Please, 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 pretty please with a cherry on top. Your friend begged you as she knelt before your sitting form. Please, it's just for this night, then I'll do the other ones. They're going to know it's not you, you replied apathetically, allowing her to shake you back and forth with zero resistance. Well, maybe, but if you wear the Kitsune mask, there's going to be so much going on that they won't notice. And you're a good dancer too. We dance the same. You'll be fine, she said confidently. Can't you smooch your boyfriend another night? You asked with an eye roll. This is the last night I get to see him before he leaves, please. I'll do the same for you. I would, if it were the reverse, she said, letting you go and crossing her arms across her chest with defiance as she sat back on her feet. I know, you sighed, finally relinquishing. So you'll do it? She asked hopefully. Yeah, okay. But what dance is it? Do I even know it? You asked worriedly. It's the haka haka up down spin around one, she said, standing up and doing some of the moves coarsely. Oh, yeah. With the jump spin on the end? You asked. No, I think it's arms up, then down, then sit, she said, looking up to her left to try and remember the final move. Man, I'm totally going to mess this up, you groaned. No, you won't. And plus, I was at the back, so they won't even be watching you. They'll be watching the girls in front, she said with a dismissive hand wave. I hope you're right, you sighed again. Okay, I'll do it. What time do I need to be there? You're the best, she squealed, falling down onto you and giving you another big hug. It's for the halftime at the sumo wrestling tournament, at the local spot, you know. Yeah, I know. Is there any practice beforehand? You asked. No. I think you just rock up around 6 p.m-ish and it'll be fine, she said dismissively again. I wish you were a little more organised with your time. I'm totally going to be late and botch this, you groaned. Nah, you got this, she said confidently. It was later now, and you were dressed up with the Kitsune mask on, ducking through the crowds to get to the back entrance of the local centre. There were people everywhere, and you were struggling to push through. Excuse me, you said softly as you stepped around and past people. It was taking forever to get through this mess. I'm sorry, can I just get past? You asked the back of a particularly tall person. They turned around and looked down at you, their golden and red eyes freezing you in place with how striking they were. The mischievous fox, this person said brightly. And what a beautiful one at that. What is it that I can help you with? Sorry, I just need to get past, you said softly, averting your eyes from his. You'd never been a particularly shy person, but the sheer presence of this guy had you feeling some type of way, especially too with how he was looking at you. May I know your name? He asked, and you panicked. Sorry, I just, you started to say, and then suddenly ducked under one of his arms and shot off into the crowd. You thought you heard him calling for you to come back for a second, but you were already running late and you were supposed to be someone else for that night, so you couldn't exactly give your name out just like that. Finally, you found the dance group and slipped in behind them. Where is she? One of the girls on the team asked you as soon as you arrived. You deadpanned. Ugh, you can tell? You asked. Yeah, it's so obvious. The teacher's going to know for sure, she replied. Geez, I hope not, you grimaced. Anyway, where is she? The girl asked. Boyfriend, you replied. Yeah, okay, gotcha, the girl replied, and then turned away as the gong rang out. The first part of the match was now underway, and it wasn't long until you and the dance crew were called into the centre ring to entertain the crowds for the middle of the match break. You followed the girls up onto the centre stage and got to the back, feeling much more comfortable being stuck behind all of them. Then the music started and you moved along with it, copying the other girls but also putting a few little extra jumps and twists in there yourself. You were feeling the music and figured that no one was watching you anyway. Well, most people weren't watching you except for a striking man with golden and red eyes. He was spellbound by the way you moved and watched with great fascination and delight, making a point of finding you afterwards to ask your name. He had a feeling you and he would make a good team. After the dance, you followed the girls off again and slipped into the night, proud of yourself for getting through that without being found out. The next day, your friend came to find you to ask how it all went. Like clockwork, you said proudly. No one knew it was me. Okay, so one of the others knew it wasn't you, like, immediately, but aside from that, no dramas. I knew you could do it, she said brightly. And do I even need to ask how it went with the boyfriend? You asked her. He broke up with me, she said with a deadpan face. Wait, what? He did what? Why? You asked. He said it was going to be too hard to keep a long-distance relationship going, so best if we ended it now, she repeated. What an ass, you scoffed. I didn't cover for you so you could go and get dumped? That's so unfair. Meh, it is what it is, I'll get over it, she said with a shrug. You deserve better, just saying, you replied. Thanks, babes. You coming to dance tonight? She then asked, changing the subject at lightning quick speed. Yeah, probably will. Might be a bit late though. I'll just slip in the back, you said with a smile. Ooh, a boyfriend? Is that why you're going to be late? She teased lightly. No. Unlike your frivolities, I have to walk my sister home after kindy. You know how it is these days. So many people go missing. It's scary. You shuddered. True. Okay, I'll cover for you. No problems, she said with a thumbs up. Okay, I don't think I'll be too late, but thanks, you said with a sheepish smile. It was again later that evening, and dance practice was underway. The teacher was a little annoyed because no one was doing the moves correctly, so she was walking around snapping at anyone who wasn't starting in the right position. Feet up! Feet up! She called, clapping her hands in time with the music. Everyone was doing their best, but also hanging for a break. This had been going on for over an hour now, and it was starting to get tiring. Just then the sliding door to the dance studio slid open with a loud bang, and in stepped a striking guy, his golden and red hair matching his equally golden and red eyes as he looked over everyone present. And who might you be? The dance teacher asked abruptly, calling for the music to be stopped. I'm here to find her, this guy replied loudly. Where is the one who danced the other night? Naturally, everyone just looked at each other and then shrugged. He was being very vague. I speak of the brilliant dancer with the Kitsune mask on, he said. Oh, that was her, one of the girls said, pointing to your friend. She froze. Oh, shoot, yes, I did tell Yin to wear the mask to cover for me, she thought as the guy looked over at her. Who is this guy? Is he a dance scout? If I say it wasn't me, though, I'm going to out myself in front of the teacher, she thought as she looked at him and then at the teacher. Just then you slipped in the back door and hid behind some of the students. You were grateful that the lesson had paused and that everyone's attention was on someone or something else, but what was going on? You peeked around the girl in front of you and saw this golden and red-eyed man and froze. Wait, that's the guy from the other night, you thought as you watched him. Yes, that was me, you heard your friend say, and you looked at her. The guy walked over and looked down at her, silently staring into her eyes. No, it wasn't you, he said. Your friend blinked. Yeah, it was, she replied with fear in her voice. I had a mask on, the Kitsune mask on, and I danced the other night. I was near the back. Then you realised what was going on. Oh, yes, I was supposed to be covering for her that night, you thought. Dance, the guy suddenly demanded. If it was you, I will know you by your dance. What, now? Your friend asked with surprise. Yes, he said pointedly. Show me your beautiful dance. Your friend hesitated and then started to do the dance, putting all of her effort into it as she wove and twirled around. You looked at the guy who was watching her intently and kept a close eye on his body language, but he wasn't giving anything away. He waited until your friend had stopped and then he shook his head. Although you dance perfectly, you do not possess the charm of the dancer that night. I must know who she is. I must know her name, he said ardently. You shifted your weight from one leg to the other and stayed hidden, hoping he would leave, but instead he walked back to the door and then sat down on the floor there. What are you doing, sir? Your teacher asked with surprise and mortification in her voice. I will watch. If she's here tonight, I will know, he said, then relaxed and let his eyes scan the group there. Very well, your teacher said with mild unease. We will continue. Okay, girls, places, please. You found a spot and waited for instruction, trying not to look at the guy as he looked over everyone. The music started again and you started to move, keeping your movements ginger and small in comparison to the others, but the teacher was on your case and called for you to be more expressive. Stop calling me out, you whined internally, noting that the guy had suddenly taken an interest in you. You glanced at him and then looked away and turned, then looked again and saw that he had locked eyes on you and wasn't looking anywhere else now. Oh no, you thought when you saw him stand up and start walking towards you. Sir? The teacher called when he was walking straight into the midst of the dancing girls and stopped in front of you. It is you, he said brightly, his eyes shining radiantly. You said softly, looking down at the floor. May I know your name, please? He asked politely yet firmly. My name is Yin, you said softly to the ground. A beautiful name for a beautiful girl, with such a beautiful aura. Please, will you allow me the pleasure of courting you? He asked directly. I can tell we will be great for each other. My name is Kyojuro Rengoku. His sudden proposal caught you off guard, and you looked up at him with awe in your eyes. I don't know you, you stammered. Please, get to know me, because I want to get to know you too, he said with a bow, and then got down on one knee and took your hand. Please, mysterious dancer, will you agree to court me? You hummed. She will, your friend called out. Okay, I will, you said with a small, shy smile. Brilliant, he exclaimed happily. I'll be very interested to hear from the Rengoku fans if there are any in the comments section. Does the one shot please thee? Does it please you? Stay tuned for next week. There will be another Demon Slayer one shot coming. I'll see you then.